He joined the Nigeria Railway Corporation, NRC, as a laborer. On the 3rd of December 1956, he joined the Nigerian Railway Corporation, and in 1956, Omugwu was enrolled in the apprentice training school. Upon completion of his training, he was converted to railway technician officer. The technical officer eventually rose to chief technical officer at Nigeria Railway Corporation before his retirement. By the special grace of God, Omugwu is the last of the 20th century AFA aborigines retirement. In terms of age, to quit the stage after exhausting himself in community service, the special group, Patriotic AFA Indigenes, comprised of late Chief Edwin, late Chief T.M. Obodo, late Chief Barrister Anthony Onwu, late Chief Isaac Odinkonibo, late Chief Bato Okafo, late Chief Anikwe, late Chief Abusi, late Chief Odume, and other departed leaders of AFA who fought for the establishment of one chieftaincy stool for the whole of AFA town. Thus, in 1977, the election was organized to elect the first Igwe of the whole AFA town that is now subdivided into 4 autonomous communities. Omugwu was one of the organizers of this election. His Royal Highness, late Chief C.B. Amalo, a retired police officer from Ugwuagu, was overwhelmingly elected the Igwe of AFA and conferred with the title Ezeachaluku I of AFA, thus becoming the first traditional ruler of the entire AFA town. At this time, the leader of the town spoke with one voice, fought for the community, and galvanized the AFA aborigines as a people bound together by destiny. During this period, Omugwu and others fought for the electrification of AFA. After AFA Central had started enjoying light, the Igwe of the town had no electricity in his village, Amofia Agbo, despite the electric poles that had been installed down the village. With the assistance of Chief Kajetan Amadi, Omugwu and other delegates were able to travel to Lagos, where they met the then Director General of Federal Rural Electrification Agency, Alhaji Abdullah, who gave an order that electricity must be extended to the palace of the Igwe of AFA. And this order was carried out within a short time. While a civil servant after retirement from public service, Omugwu remained a leader of his people, and every second he found himself. He would always offer himself for service. Indeed, his patriotism and love for community service is well known in the community. For instance, during the war of attrition fought against Igbos, for instance, the Biafran Civil War, Omugwu was the head of the Civil Defense Corps, set up by the AFA people and other refugees who converged at Ugwuagu, the only village in AFA town that was not invaded by the Nigerian soldiers. To protect the community from saboteurs, criminals, and vandals who absorbed that period of region anarchy created by the Civil War to rape, kill, maim, and fellow Igbos, with the assistance of able-bodied men from AFA and refugees recruited to protect the people. We were able to maintain peace, stability, sanity amongst the internally displaced people who converged in Ugwuagu till the end of the war. Omugwu played a major role in establishing technical secondary school Amofia. With the consent of his family members, he gave out a large portion of the land housing the school to the community. remarkably, specifically allowed his father's farmhouse in the place where technical secondary school stands to be removed to make provision for the construction of school, which turned out to be a beacon of educational hope of the community. Indeed, many Amorphia indigents and outsiders, some of whom are professionals, passed through the school. Of course, the purpose of establishing the school is to bring education closer to the people and to produce an army of educated indigents who will join hands in development of our state and country. The struggle of the indigents to educate their children outside the community ended with the presence of the school amongst our people. A good number of professionals in our community today were trained in the school. So many of these professionals would not have had the opportunity to go beyond primary education where it's not, if it is not school. Omugwu and other prominent members of the community fought to create Amorphia autonomous community. Of all the autonomous communities in AFA, Amorphia was the first, and in fact, one of the very first sets of autonomous community created in 1997 by the then military governor of Enugu State, Colonel Sule Amani. Unfortunately, backbiting and infighting prevented the community from coronating an Igwe since its creation. Immediately after the creation of autonomous community, the Amorphia Imezi section of the community, whose turn it is to produce the first Igwe of the community, unanimously elected Omugwu as their sole candidate for the Igwe. After this, some fifth columnists with the community infiltrated Amorphia Imezi and instigated crisis that prevented the community from having an Igwe till date. Not long, the leaders of Amorphia General Assembly, led by the current President General, Mr. Ugwuagu, paid Omugwu a courtesy visit and pleaded for forgiveness from Omugwu for the maltreatment given to him by not allowing him to assume the leadership and Igweship after he was unanimously elected by Amorphia Imezi quarter. Being a father that he was, he told them that he had forgiven whoever had a hand in instigating crisis that has prevented the community from electing an Igwe. The visit of the PG and his executive was informed by the continuous failure of the community to elect an Igwe long after Omugwu had vacated the stage and told everyone he was no longer interested. Omugwu prayed for the community and adjudged everyone to seek peace and love one another in recognition for his altruistic activity and pan-AFA movement that he championed with other patriotic AFA indigents. He was recognized on several occasions with titles and awards. First, he was conferred the title of Omugwu of AFA by the first Igwe of the town. Late, His Royal Highness Igwe C.D. Amalo, the Ugwuagu of AFA. This title now overshadowed his birth name. Historically, Omugwu was the progenitor of all our Amorphia people. It is not a surprise that Omugwu saw himself as a reincarnation of the main Omugwu, the father of our Amorphia people. And he lived it by fighting for the development of Amorphia and the entire AFA town. At the onset of the search for the first Igwe of Amorphia, which unfortunately has remained a mirage till date,
I will call you back.
Omugwu was unanimously nominated as the sole candidate for Amorphia Imezi, the section whose turn it is to produce an Igwe. It was presented as the Igwe Omugwu II of Amorphia Autonomous Community. He received the blessings of also title holders of Amofia as the Igbo elect of the community. Hence the title, His Royal Chosen Majesty. His Royal Chosen Majesty. Though his official ratification and coronation could not take place, Omugwu was a blessed man. He was a crown child of God whose memory will remain indelible in the minds of people who love him for his selfless service and sacrifices. It is however unfortunate that despite being the first community in AFA to be granted the status of autonomous community in 1997, by the then military administrator, Amofia has not crowned an Igwe till date. This was the handiwork of the 5th columnist who infiltrated the Amofia Imezi section of the community and engineered a crisis that has today engulfed the entire Amofia to the extent that the 26 years and running, counting, Amofia has failed woefully in producing an Igwe. Still on Omugwu's leadership, he was elected in 2008 as the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, Eastern District, a position he held until the end of 2016. Upon the expiration of his tenure as the chairman of the NUP, Omugwu was further elected on the 30th November 2016 as the deputy national chairman of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners with an office at the NUP headquarters in Abuja. He held this position until 2021. Thereafter, he was further elected the national patron of the southeastern South-South region of the NUP. He held this position till he was called by his creator. During the aforementioned period, he successfully and vehemently fought for the rights and privileges of railway workers. No wonder he became a household name amongst his peers and others within the Nigerian Railway Corporation as a body in general. His outstanding performance earned him the nickname Point 7, making reference to the payment of accumulated arrears he fought for and obtained for his fellow pensioners. Throughout this period of leadership at the NUP, Omugwu vehemently and successfully fought for the rights of pensioners, especially the reinstatement of payment of their monthly annuity and pension. It must be noted also that immediately after Omugwu retired from the Nigerian Railway, someone he had not known, or probably one of his persons, one of the persons who knew him and about his forthrightness, recommended him for appointment by the then military administrator of Ebonyi State as a caretaker committee member of Ishielu local government area of Ebonyi State. As a member of the caretaker committee, he served as the supervising counselor for health. During their tenure, he worked actively in eradicating gay worms. That became a pandemic in Ebonyi State. The government invited the former US President Jimmy Carter, who is the global head of Jimmy Carter Foundation, to visit Ebonyi and render assistance through his foundation. Jimmy Carter honored the invitation in person and truly rendered medical assistance to the local government in fighting gay worm and other tropical diseases ravaging the people. In fact, during this period, Omugwu dispassionately performed his duties and responsibilities to the best of his ability. On different occasions, Omugwu was elected the PDP ward chairman of Chinatown Enugu Ward 1 and AFA Ikonu and Ogu Ward, respectively. As a true Wawa man, he was one of the die-hard followers of late Chief C.C. Ono, who fought for the creation of Enugu State and the liberation of Wawas that were seen as outcasts and savages amongst the Igbo people in Nigeria. It was the struggle for their generation that brought succor to our people, to the extent that the present Gen Z generation who do not know what their parents and grandparents suffered. Thank God that the cheaper of internal appetite has been eradicated. Enugu metropolis is now a home for all Igbos, where any Igbo man and woman will feel at home. At the last moment of his life in this divide, Omugwu felt worried about the security situation in Enugu and the entire southeast.